So I'm here with Beverly and Cindy, and we'll be talking about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So before I begin, I usually let my speakers introduce themselves. So Beverly, you can introduce yourself, then Cindy will go ahead too.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So my name is Beverly Nunu. I recently graduated from the University of Leeds with a master's in international communication. So basically, I'm into communication, PR, marketing, journalism, anything to do with that, but on the global space. So that is what I do. But I mostly specialize in issues that deal with disaster, like climate change, sustainability, and all of that. And I have been doing this for quite a number of years. For 5 years now, I've been in the communication industry, both in Ghana and then in abroad. So I've worked as a communication person, a public relation assistant at the Ghana Highway Authority. I've also worked as a television producer with a news organization in Ghana. I've also worked as a community liaison officer at the University of Leeds. So yes, my experience in the communication industry spans from both Ghana and then the Western world, that is the UK. Yes.
Oh, then you've done a lot in terms of the communication field. Like you've worked in a lot
Yes.
of departments. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cindy, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, okay. Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm Cindy Jokoto, and I just graduated Masters in International Crime and Global Security from Coventry University. Unlike Beverly, I don't have a lot of experience in this field. I'm new to this field, and I'm trying to explore all options available. Thank you.
Oh, okay, so let's start. I think I will ask both of you, what motivated you to apply for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship? I know that there is Commonwealth Scholarship and there is Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. I think before that, I want to know the difference between the Commonwealth Scholarship and the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And also, if after that you can add what motivated you to apply to the scholarship. Beverly, you can go first.
Okay, so the Commonwealth Scholarship is the umbrella term for all of the scholarships. So there is the Commonwealth Masters, the Commonwealth Share Scholarship, Commonwealth PhD, and then the Commonwealth Split Side. So with the Commonwealth Masters, it's being done or handled by a recognized organization in a specific country. So let's say in Ghana, the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship is organized or handled by the Scholarship Secretariat and other nominated agencies. But with the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, it's shared because it's between the host university and then the UK government. So compared to the Commonwealth Masters that you are being nominated by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat and all the other agencies, with the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, the university nominates you. So in my case, I was nominated by the University of Leeds, and then I was confirmed by the UK government. So all of them are being financed by the UK government, but the host institutions, I mean, the nominating agencies are different. So when it comes to Ghana, with the Commonwealth Masters, it's being handled by the Scholarship Secretariat in Ghana and then other nominating agencies. And when it comes to the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, that's why it's shared. It's being handled between the host university and then the UK government. So the University of Leeds pays some of your fees. No, I think the University of Leeds actually pays your stipend and all of that. And then the UK government takes care of your fees and all of that. And then when it comes to the Commonwealth PhD, unfortunately, I think Ghana isn't part because I think they're saying it's a middle income country or something like that. But Ghana isn't part, but Nigerians and all of that are part. So they handle the PhD scholarship. And when the split side is between PhD students who would want to study in UK. So let's say I'm already commencing my PhD student in Ghana, my PhD studies in Ghana. I'm doing my doctoral research, and I would want to, explore the UK in terms of its academic it's academic study and all of that. I want to explore UK a bit. That is when the split side comes in. So you can go there, study a bit, and then come back. So it's between a host university in Ghana and then the UK, but still financed by the UK government. So that is the difference. So the one that is currently open is the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So the host university nominates you, and then you get confirmed by the UK government. Yes.
Okay, so with the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, it means that the Ghana government doesn't have any control over the.
No,
Okay.
no, that is why I love it. Yeah, that's one part of it. Yeah,
Okay, so I now understand it that the Commonwealth
Mm.
Shared Scholarship is independent of the Ghana government, is
Exactly,
between the host
exactly,
university and the UK government.
exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you very much. And also, what was your motivation? What motivated you to apply?
Okay, so I think I've already said it, the fairness, the openness that is being accompanied by the scholarship scheme. So in this case, the university reviews your essay. If they feel you are the right candidate, you are fit for that particular course, and then they push you forward, they nominate you to the scholarship board, and then the scholarship board just goes through your academic materials and then confirms that you've gotten the scholarship and all of that. And I think apart from that, the opportunity that they provide before and even after your studies, the opportunity that you get, and then the community that you get to join. It's something that I wish everybody gets a part of. Everybody gets to experience it. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's not just a scholarship opportunity. It will get you into places that you never imagined you'd be. It will get you into rooms that you never imagined you'd be. So it's interesting, and I think the main objective of the scholarship body, it's focused on development. So it pushes you to be the change that you really want to see in your society. I think these are some of the things that motivated me.
Oh, that's great. Cindy, what was your motivation for the scholarship? Was
So
it similar? Is it similar?
yeah, similar. Because
Okay.
you know some of the scholarship scheme we have back home, and this one is very fair. It all depends on your ability, what you can do, how you were able to sell yourself. And you know, the moment you sell yourself very well, the opportunity is there for you. And like what Bebe said, you get to meet a whole community of different people with different views, different ideas. You get to know how people want to make changes in their society. So this scholarship, apart from that, it also gives you the peaceful mind to study. You don't have to worry about money. Your school fees is paid. Your plane ticket is paid, you have monthly stipends, it provides you some peace of mind to study really, really well. And also its aim of dealing with problems, developmental problems is one of the reasons why I also it's made on the sustainable development goals. So it tried to handle issues that are mostly common in low and middle income countries. So these are some of the motivations, like what motivated me to apply for it.
Okay, so it means that if you are focused on trying to develop your where you are, that's the scholarship you would want to apply to. If you want to be a global leader or make a change in your community, that's like the
Yeah,
scholarship that you want to
exactly.
apply to. Okay.
Yeah,
It's is it for me, I think that I interviewed some people on the, I think, Chevening scholarships. Is it similar to the Chevening?
yeah,
Because the Chevening too is like more of global change or leadership and
yeah,
development. I think from what you are saying, it's
yeah,
similar to the
yeah,
Chevening scholarship. And with the Commonwealth Shared
yeah.
Scholarship, are you required to come back home after you are done with your studies, just like the Commonwealth scholarship, the Commonwealth scholarship itself? Or is the Chevening? I think it's the Chevening that you are required to come back home. But with
It's
the
happening. Yeah. So I think compared with a Chevening scholarship, it's
yeah,
almost the same thing, but they have different goals, different ambitions.
yeah,
So with Commonwealth, they are not just looking for global leaders. I mean, if you want to, after your studies, if you want to venture into postgraduate studies, postdoctoral and all of that, if you want to go into PhD, you are permitted.
okay,
As you have your funding and all of that, you are permitted. But as compared with Chevening, immediately you're done with your studies, I think you have to come back 2 years before you go
Yeah.
back. But with Commonwealth, it's not like that. Yeah, you can return back home, but if you would want to go back, do your PhD and all of that,
It's
your
allowed.
own prerogative. Yeah,
Okay.
it's what
Okay.
you want to do, but
Oh,
you would have to come back. But any other thing you want to do after you are back, it's up to you. Yeah.
oh, okay. So it means that when you are on the scholarship and you are done, you have to come back, but afterwards, you can do.
Yes.
Okay. 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 I get it now.
Your PhD and all of that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
It's not
okay.
like Chevy that you have to stay in your country
For 1
for
year or
2 years. For it is 2 years. You have to be in Ghana for 2 years before you can move anywhere. But with Commonwealth Shared, assuming I'm done and I return to my country, PhD opportunity, and I want to study there, so far as you have all your documents right, you're allowed to. So they're not just grooming leaders in terms of just people who would initiate or be social change makers, but people would also want to groom the next generation
generation.
of leaders. So they want to teach them and all of that. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I now get the clear differences now from the Commonwealth as an umbrella to Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and Commonwealth
Yes.
Scholarship. Yeah, I now get it now.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this insight. So let's go
Yes.
to the application process. I think I will let Cindy start with the application process. So can you kindly walk us through your application process and what were some of the challenges that you faced whilst you were applying for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, Cindy?
Okay. So with the application process, the first you just have to watch out for when the scholarship is going to be opened and the deadline also. Then after that, you have to go through the various schools that the Commonwealth are in collaboration with and the various programs that each schools offer. So the Commonwealth is not all schools or all universities in the UK that does the Commonwealth. So every university the Commonwealth collaborates with, they have specific programs that they are sponsoring in that particular university. So that's the next thing you have to do. Then you have to gather your documents, your reference letter, your statements of purpose. You have to write. You have to write a lot. Is it a lot, Benjamin?
Wow.
It's a lot. You have to write. You just like when you get your documents, you go through the schools, you look at the course you want to apply for. You apply for the Commonwealth scholarship. Then you apply for the school separately. So you have to apply to both the school and to the Commonwealth. You give your reference. They usually request the Commonwealth scholarship request for the email of your referees. So when you are shortlisted, that's when they send the email to your referees to send their references. And yeah, you apply for it and you pray. I hope it.
I love
Yeah,
them.
your
Yeah.
prayer is very important too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you get. And I think one of the challenges is actually writing the essay, writing the essays for the Commonwealth scholarship. I think one mistake that we usually make is some people just write really understanding what they are supposed to write. So that was the challenges that I faced. And also whatever you write in your essay, it needs to be practical. Yeah, you need to research into the course that you're applying for. You need to research into the various institutions. Like what we said earlier, they want you to make an impact. So you need to research what institutions that are in your field. So like after the scholarship, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? You have to be very specific. And another challenge that I face is getting recommendation or reference letter. And I think that's one major problem that a lot of Ghanaians face. Sometimes our lecturers want to give us references. You just have to follow before. A lot of giving up on applying for schools and scholarship because of recommendation and reference letter. So yeah, basically that's one of the challenges that I faced in my application.
Okay, with the statement of purpose, I want Bevelyn, can you kindly expatiate on how we can make our statement of purpose stand out? Like, what are the things that I should look out for if I'm applying for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and I want to write a statement of purpose? What are the things that I should put in the statement of purpose, and what are the things that I shouldn't do when I'm writing the statement of purpose?
Okay, so with the Commonwealth, as part of your essays, they ask for a personal statement. And we know a personal statement is different from a statement of purpose. Personal statement, they want to know you more, but then it's not a pity party. But the main concern, your main argument should be how you also overcame these challenges. So let's say you are from a very poor background, or you grew up in a community that is vulnerable to climate disaster and all of that. How did you also overcome these challenges? And what are you also doing in that particular community to make sure that other people, withstand challenges that they face every day of their life? So it's not a pity party. Yes, you have to write about yourself, challenges you face through and all of that. But then how did you overcome them? What are you also doing to ensure that other people do not go through the same thing that you also went through? It's also a chance for you to talk about your achievements. If you've won any awards and all of that, maybe you didn't have fees to go to school and all of that. You had to work on a part-time basis and then get to where you are. Despite all these challenges, did you win any awards and all of that? They know that we are in Ghana, we cannot afford fees in UK. We cannot afford to pay tuition fees in UK. They already know that. It's well established. But then you have to show them that you really deserve the scholarship, not because you cannot pay your fees, but because you deserve it. Because in spite of all the challenges that you face, you've been able to overcome it. So talk about your personal experiences, talk about your challenges and all of that. But how did you overcome them? Which awards did you also win? What are you also doing for other people who are facing similar challenges? It's not a pity party and all of that here. Because people end up writing all their challenges and life parties and all of that, but you don't see the core of the entire essay. Like, how did you overcome them? It's one thing that wows them. Imagine me telling you that there is a little boy that lost his arm or leg when he was 6 years old, and despite that, he did brilliantly well in school. He has a foundation and all of that. If you are part of the scholarship panel, you end up choosing him. So talk about your personal experiences, talk about the struggles you went through, but then also highlight how you overcame these struggles, how you overcame your challenges, and then what achievements did you make? What impact did you make in the lives of other people? Yeah.
So I want to make a differentiation here. I just want to ask this question. So with the personal statement, it's about yourself, right?
About yourself, yes.
So do I have to write statement of purpose too, like about my academic work, or it's just personal statement about myself?
You can infuse both of them. But with the statement of purpose, it's about why you think you are fit for the university. That's when you talk about your whole educational life and all of that, your research proposal and all of that. But personal statements, they want to know you as you, the person. They want to know you. So you can infuse your academic achievements and all of that, but make sure that it tallies with your personal life. So it's not just one-sided. You are talking just about your academic life without talking about the other aspects. You are talking just about your personal life without talking also about your academic achievement. Just infuse it so that it gives a blend of both sides of your life.
Okay, because in the beginning you mentioned that in the application process you have to apply separately. I think Cindy mentioned it, that you have to apply separately to the scholarship secretariat and also to the university. So does it mean that with the university they would be looking out for the statement of purpose, and with the scholarship secretariat they want the personal statement, or you can just infuse both of them and send it to either the university or the scholarship secretariat?
Okay, so with the Commonwealth Scholarship, they are offered under 6 themes. They have 6 themes that they are offered under. So as part of your application process, you see that I think one of them has to do with science and technology. The second one, strengthening resilience and response to crisis, strengthening global peace and security, access, inclusion and opportunity. And then I think, strengthening health systems. So under these 6 themes, there are 8 schools. That's one thing we have to know. You cannot say, oh, because I've gained admission to this school, I'm going to apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship. So you have to check out for the schools. So let's say strengthening resilience and response to crisis, they have a list of schools that you can choose from. One of them is the University of Leeds. So you have to apply to both the University of Leeds and then the scholarship board concurrently, or you've gotten admission, you do not have the scholarship, or some of your things are not, you want to apply for to them at the same time. Now, during your application to the school may either ask for a statement of purpose or a personal statement. It depends on the school. It depends on what the school is asking for. And as I've already said, a statement of purpose is different from a personal statement. A personal statement mostly asks about you in person, but there's a way you could blend, your academic achievements, anything that has to do with your education, there's a way you could blend it. But a statement of purpose is talking about your education, anything that has to do with your academic life. You get it? So the school can either request for a statement of purpose or a personal statement. But with the Commonwealth Scholarship, during the application, during your essay writing, you'll be asked to write a number of essays. I think one is on the development impact, one development impact 2, 3, 4, your career plans, and then your personal statement. So the Commonwealth Scholarship asks specifically for a personal statement. So there you could write about yourself, your challenges, show how you were able to overcome these challenges, and then how you emerge glorious. Sell yourself. Do you get it? So those are the difference. So it's either the school asks you for a statement of purpose or a personal statement. But with the Commonwealth Scholarship, they ask specifically for a personal statement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you cannot say that.
Yes,
you cannot say that I'm using the statement that I wrote for the school for my university. That is something that most of us we make those mistakes. That because I wrote a personal statement, even if let's say University of Leeds asked me for a personal statement, I wrote this personal statement for the University of Leeds, so I'm going to use the same statement for the Commonwealth Scholarship without refurbishing that statement. But it's wrong, because you have to make sure that each essays that you write are seamless. They are agreeing with all your other essays. They flow accordingly. So you have to make sure that the personal statement that you are giving to the Commonwealth Scholarship is in line with all your other essays. Do you get me?
Yes, please. I get you. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of essays. Okay.
It sounds bulky. It sounds
Yeah.
bulky and confusing from the beginning, but as you go on, you get to understand.
Okay. So in all, how many essays are we writing if you're applying for the Commonwealth Shared?
I think 11. But the good news is, for some of us that hates interviews, I don't know why I'm into communication, but I hate interviews, to be honest. I hate it. For some of us that do not really like interviews, I think that is the good news, because you have 11 essays to express yourself and all of that. So you won't go and stand in front of a panel. And these essays, some of them are like 125 words, 150 words, 500 words, and the rest. Chevening is 500 words per essay. And with the 500 words, you have interviews after that before you are being finally selected. But with Commonwealth, once you express yourself on that sheet, on that application form,
that's
it.
Yeah.
There's no interview. So I think we should also look at that. We may think the essays are too much. It's not about the number, it's really about the content. They are not really that much. 150, 500, 120, and the rest. Yes.
Okay. So Lois has placed in the comment section how to write a personal statement, a YouTube link to dear young graduates, how to write a personal statement. So you can check it out, and it can help you write the personal statement and also the other essays. Okay, wow. That's really informative. Like, one question, what komupa? You've gone into details. That's very good. Cindy, I think I'll come to you. So when you got the scholarship, what do you think were the things that made you stand out in your personal statement? Was it your academic like in the totality of the application? Do you think it was maybe your academic achievement, development, impact focus, or your personal statement too? What were the things that you think it made you stand out in your application?
I think all of it.
All of them, okay.
All of them. Because my personal statement, I clearly demonstrated how my background, my education, and my goals align with the developmental impact goals of the Commonwealth Scholarship. And academically too, my scores, my academic record and everything was up there. So it also helped. But mostly my developmental impact essay, I took my time. I researched, well, because this was totally a new field. I did my undergrad in political studies. Then I came to do my master's in terrorism, international crime, and global security. So it was a total field. This one deal with terrorism, human trafficking, drug trafficking. And one thing is also that in Ghana, we didn't have any terrorist attack, successful terrorist attack by then or even now. So I really demonstrated why I want to study the course. I demonstrated the impact it's going to have on Ghana, what I'm going to do with the knowledge I applied there. I researched into the institutions that handle this issue. So I really took my time to focus on the developmental impact goals. I was practical. I wrote things that were really helpful to my application. So I feel the developmental impact goals is also one thing that we should focus more on. That's what they want to hear. How are you going to use the knowledge that you gain from scholarship? So you really need to demonstrate it well.
Okay. I think this one, I'll let you take your time to prepare. You said that we have 11 different essays that you have to write. Can you mention those essays for us so that at least we have a clear idea of it? But if you need time to, we can give you maybe 5 to 10 minutes for you to prepare for that. Also, Cindy goes over the answers the other questions. Or maybe you can share. Do you have like a document that you would want to share with us too?
Yeah. I'll send you a document on your WhatsApp.
Yeah, let me try sharing it and see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so to make it more practical, I would love to use an example. So
Okay.
let's say you're applying for a course at the University of Liverpool as part of the Commonwealth application process. And that course is under strengthening health system. And the first question they ask you is to the development impact one. It says, what is the issue at the global level and then national and then the local level? And that particular course is under strengthening health system. So let's say I'm talking about malaria. Do you get it? So when I come to the first issue, that is on the global level, I'll talk about what exactly the issue is when it comes to malaria, global malaria. So I could say that half of the world's population are at risk of malaria. That is the first issue on the global space. When I come to national, I'm talking about how Ghana is being affected by malaria. When I come to my community, I talk about the presence of malaria in my community. Then this is why I bring in the issue. So what exactly is making people get affected or be at risk of malaria? Is it because they lack education? Is it because they lack access to healthcare facilities? What exactly is the issue? And you would only know this if you do your research. If you read a lot, you are passionate. You know that I want to do something in relation to malaria or something, but you do not know what exactly the issue is. So you have to read, and then from that reading, that research, you'd be able to, understand how to solve it. So maybe you realize that there's lack of information as to how people will protect themselves from malaria and all of that. And then they ask you that. Yes. So the global, you can talk about how the malaria is affecting people on a global space. National, you can talk about how its presence is, distracting life in Ghana, and then you go on to the community. Yeah. So the issue, you can say that, maybe people lack information when it comes to how to protect themselves and against malaria bites and all of that. Then you connect that to the wider CIC theme. As I mentioned, they have 6 themes: the strengthening health system, strengthening response, and then I think promoting technology and innovation, one of them. But in this case, we are talking about malaria, so it relates to strengthening health system. Do you get me?
Yes.
It's just that. Then they ask you can also talk about how your course is going to help you to, tackle this issue that you've identified. So let's say I've tackled, like I said, that the issue is about lack of information. So maybe the course that I'm going to offer at University of Liverpool would, build my skills and then expertise to be able to tackle this particular issue. So that is all that the essay is talking about. Which issue you've identified on the global space, national, local, how do you think you are going to solve it? Do you get it? And how will your scholarship help? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
Uh-huh.
And the second question is how you intend to apply your new skills and qualification when you return home.
Exactly.
Then,
So
yeah.
with the second essay, you could say that I've identified that there is lack of information as to how people protect themselves from malaria and all of that. So when I come back home with my expertise that I've gotten or my skills that I've been trained in studying at the University of Leeds, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D to increase people's awareness of malaria and all of that. Do you get it? That is all that is saying. So it's not anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and it's just, I think, 100 words.
Exactly. Yeah, I mentioned most of the essays are just something simple, but you have to, if you do not read, you will not know some of these things. You
Yeah.
have to read and know the real issue, because you cannot just say that, let's say, a lot of people lack information or knowledge when it comes to how to protect themselves. You have to back it up with evidence. And that's from doing, we call it standing on the shoulder of giants. It's from doing your research that you'll be able to know specifically how to answer SA2. How are you going to apply your skills? What are you going to do? It's from identifying the gaps that you're able to do, to know what to do to fill in those gaps. I don't know if like I'm making sense here, but I hope
Yes,
I do.
please. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
making a lot of sense.
Yes. So it's from your research that you know what is missing and what you can do.
Yeah. And said question 3 is what you expect will change in development terms following your studies,
Terms.
including, yeah.
So let's say what you expect to change, and you have to make sure this particular development impact essay connects to your career plans, both your short-term and then your long-term career plans. That's why they are asking for a time frame and then the beneficiaries. So let's say when you come back, you can say that because I realized that people do not have knowledge on malaria, when I come back, the first thing I will do is to initiate malaria campaigns in Ghana. And I'll do that from my first to, let's say, my second term. So from 2026 to 2028, I'll initiate malaria campaigns. And then the people that I expect to, benefit from this campaign are pregnant women. Then you give reasons why you think they are the people that should benefit. Then your second one, you can write that, in my midterm, I want to move from campaigns to actually initiating projects, implementing projects, training people as to how to protect themselves from malaria and all of that. And this, I'll do this from, let's say, my third year to my fifth year. And in the long term, maybe you think that there are no organizations that train even health professionals as to how to increase people's awareness on malaria. So your organization is going to train health professionals on how to educate people on malaria. And this should be your long term from 7 somewhere beyond. So you do not just wake up and say, when I come back to Ghana, you should use the SMART model. Be specific, make sure whatever you're writing is measurable, is attainable, is realistic, and then it's time bound. So whatever you're writing, you attach a time frame to it. Make sure it's specific. You are being specific. It's measurable. It's realistic. So you cannot just come back and tell us that when I come to Ghana, the first thing I'll do is to build a hospital. It's not realistic. And this particular plan, the more we move on, the more you realize that it connects to your career plans. Because you can't tell me that when I come back to Ghana, I want to initiate malaria campaigns. So when you get to your short-term plan and they ask you what are your short-term career plans, they are telling me that when you come back, you want to be a politician. You have to make sure that your essays, they all come together.
Yeah.
They are all one. And one thing you should keep in mind is that people are breaking up with people and they tell them that, it's not you, it's me. You should use your offering. You see, when you are breaking up with people, they'll say, it's not your fault, it's me. You should use that same mindset. It's not about you, it's about what you are offering the community. So what are you considering? Who do you think will benefit from this? That is all they are asking for. Let's say the first to second term, like I said, you want to implement malaria campaigns, then this should run from maybe 2026 to 2028. Then maybe your midterm, you can say that you want to execute projects, really train people on how to protect themselves from malaria. And this should run from maybe 2029 to 2035. And then in the long term, you want to build an organization to train health professionals. That is your long-term plan from 2029 or 2030 upward. So that is all that is asking for. The outcomes you expect to change. Already you identified that people lack education or information when it comes to malaria. So you want to do this to change that, to make sure that people are equipped with the knowledge and then information on how to protect themselves from malaria. I think this is an example that we could all relate to. Yes.
I think that the questions are guidelines to writing the essays, and it's really
Exactly.
it's very easy for you to answer it when you research it and also use the SMART model,
Exactly.
as you said. So I think the questions are okay, personal statement, voluntary and leadership experience, then your attachments. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for the
And
excellent. Oh, should I reshare?
yeah, I was going to say that
Yeah.
you have to connect your essays to the sustainable development goals and then the wider CSE themes. So the 6 themes. So if your course and then your school is under strengthening resilience and response to crisis, you make sure that whatever you are writing is under that. So you can't say respond to climate change and be talking about malaria here. You have to make sure that your essays are in line with the CSE theme that you've chosen, and then also the sustainable development goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have to connect. It could be
Exactly.
convenient and connect.
Exactly.
There is Emmanuel Osei. Emmanuel Osei is also a Commonwealth Shared Scholar 2021. And yeah, hi, Emmanuel. Okay, I think maybe where he is he can't talk. Okay. So let me go to Cindy. Beverly, you've really talked a lot, and I'm really happy that like the conversation is really like in depth. Everything that you are saying is like very, very in depth. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. I think so let's jump to I have one question in mind too.
Okay.
You mentioned the document. Do I have to also submit my CV?
I think as part of the application form, you'll be asked of your experience. You'll be asked to list your experience and all of that. Your experience and all of that. So it's part of the form, but you are not supposed to, I think, submit it as in submitting a CV.
Okay. So you don't really have to submit a CV. It's just in the application form. So
Exactly.
okay. Cindy, what resources were helpful for you when you were applying for the scholarship? Cindy.
Yeah. So the resources that were helpful for me, I think the first one was the questions that guide each essay that you're going to write. Like what you said initially, each impact essay has a question at the top. So that was the first thing. I just made sure that I tailored the essay I'm writing according to the question that was asked. The next one was Google, Chrome. I did my research. Whatever the question is, if I don't have much idea or in-depth knowledge about it, I go online to go and research about it. Personally, I didn't have anyone who had gotten the scholarship before to guide me. So everything I did was on my own, based on the questions that were asked and the information I've available online. So basically, you just have to answer the question. We'll go online, what you don't know, research into it, and provide answers for. Basically, that's it. I didn't have any guidance from anyone.
Wow, that's very good. Like you didn't have like anyone to review your essays or anything.
No.
Wow. And the way I shall call, you're
She's brilliant. Yeah.
very
Yeah, she
brilliant.
is. She is.
Because some of us we will send the essays like 5 billion times before we submit.
I didn't have anyone after I had the scholarship. I didn't know anyone to guide me through the processes. So I have to
Okay.
be emailing the school, emailing the scholarship board. So yes,
Wow. So when you go to UK, did you meet like maybe other Commonwealth Shared scholars from Ghana that's
So the time that I met people was yes, when I came here we had a webinar, like we had an online webinar like that. So I saw someone's name in the comment section and I realized this person is a Ghanaian. So or his email address, he sent it to me. Then I think I emailed him, he gave me his number. That's when I realized there was a whole community. They had a group back home in Ghana, people were part of to make the process very easy for them. And I was like, oh, I've suffered. So that was when I
But I
got
wasn't in vain, right? You suffered, I wasn't in vain.
it wasn't. So that's when I got to meet people. And also when we went for what's the name of that thing? What's the name? The program we go for at London. The program we
the welcome event. The
Yeah.
welcome event.
So
The
when
orientation welcome event. Yeah,
That's-
thingy.
met other people, yes.
Wow.
Physically.
Wow. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
So those of us that we've connected, Sydney didn't get anyone, but we have gotten people that they've availed themselves to help us. So you don't have any excuse not to apply. So please, when you get the opportunity, please apply. The deadline is 15th December. So please apply. And yeah, I'm sure that we would surely get into the scholarship. So I think Emmanuel's audio wasn't working, but it's working now. So Emmanuel, hi Emmanuel.
Yeah, hello. Sorry about the audio earlier.
Fine, it's fine. I understand that sometimes
Yeah.
the technicalities can come to play. So
Yeah.
Emmanuel, can you kindly introduce yourself and maybe any tips in how you got the scholarship and also any tips that you can give us for applying the scholarships? And did you also get a mentor? Did you have anyone to help you with the application process, or you did it by yourself, just like Cindy?
Okay. My name is Emmanuel Asai, and I think I got connected with Lois about 3 years ago for one of these sessions, and I applied in 2019. And just like Cindy, I didn't really know anyone, so I just sort of shot my shot and hoped that it works out, and it did. So I can appreciate the sort of effort Cindy had to put in hers to get this opportunity. And I've been here listening to both Beverly and Cindy speak, and I think they've really covered all the bases, including, opening the application portal or the question itself and trying to sort of guide people through the application process. I've been reviewing the essays for some people over the past years, but one thing I just want to point out that people miss, which I find really important, is the very first question, the part about stating the problem. In reviewing the essays, what I see is that for the first part, people make the mistake of personalizing it. That part is an academic essay, okay? You have room to express and bring your own personal and background in the personal statement and voluntary experience section. The top part, think of it as a purely academic exercise, just as you would do an assignment in the university, okay? So if you've identified a problem, don't be using personal pronouns like I will be doing this or I want to study this so I can do that. Talk about a problem, just as Beverly already described. If you are choosing malaria, make sure you are putting in some statistics, okay, at the global level and at the national level, and why the people, good people of Commonwealth, should care. That is one thing I wanted to add. And one thing people also forget is that you are asking someone to give you money, the equivalent of, I don't know, about 10 million billion old Ghana cedis. So you can't just write something simple and something you took maybe just an hour a day to just write without any research and expect it to work. I'm available just like any previous shared scholar I know. They're always available to help, but most of the time, people are not ready to sort of take the criticisms that we share on their essays. But I think if you take anything from this meeting, I think you would have valuable insights in how the overall process is.
Thank you very much. So this is the first part that Emmanuel was talking about.
Yeah.
How your proposed study relates to developmental issues at the global, national, and local level. This is the first session. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one part I want to point out is the part where you describe the proposal. If you scroll down, I think it's one of the questions down below. Yeah. Where you've chosen I think that one is
the
called.
second one.
I think so.
Detailed plan of study.
Yeah, I think that is it. So in that part, right?
Yeah.
The essays I've read, almost all of them are too vague. Okay. You're talking about, you wanna apply, I don't know, if your course is the MSc program you've chosen is say something in artificial intelligence. You can't just say, I want to use artificial intelligence to solve this. Okay. You have to go in a bit of specifics. All right.
Yeah.
The question is prefaced by saying, don't say something that is overly technical. It doesn't mean don't say anything at all. Because if it's too generic, it looks like something anybody who hasn't given it a thought can simply scribble on a paper. So if you want to do something in relation to malaria, right, you should be citing examples of how we've treated malaria currently. Maybe we use chloroquine or quinine, we've moved on to ACTs and the challenges with ACTs. It just goes a bit deeper than just saying malaria and you're going to learn molecular biology and you want to use molecular biology to solve it. So if you've identified a problem and have a topic in mind, make sure you give some statistics and at least a little detail on what you want to do and not just the surface level kind of information. So for the ones that I've reviewed, there is a person that we connected over LinkedIn and I kind of know their strengths a bit. Okay, I know some of the skills and training they've received over the past years. This person is self-taught Python, the person codes. They know a lot of the tools that they want to use, but surprisingly in their essays, they didn't bring any of that up. They simply used the word data science, and that was it. That won't set you apart from all the other people applying to this for this position. So you would have to be a little bit detailed in that session.
Okay. Thank you so much for this insights. So be specific. Albert Amo is saying that's a very great information. Yeah, you have to also teach us the accent too, because the accent was accenting. Okay, and I have a question for Emmanuel. Yeah, it's giving Irishman. I have a question for Emmanuel. So, did you return back home after your Commonwealth Shared Scholarship studies?
Okay. Can I answer that one now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, good question. I didn't. So when I got to, I think, so I applied in 2019 and we started in 2020. And getting to the end of my program, I had already started applying to PhD programs. So I got a few offers, and then the scholarship commission contacted me about booking my flight. I know it is advised that you go back, but I told them, look, if I go back, I'm coming back the next day. So why don't we call it a day? So they agreed, and that was it. So I haven't gone back to Ghana since I left. I
Wow.
just came straight to Ireland for my PhD, and that was it. So you won't get in trouble for not going back home, especially if it's
Yeah.
for
Your PhD.
another degree, going to do a PhD or something. They understand. They understand that. So you can just simply notify them that, look, I'm done and I'm moving on to a different program. Yeah.
What's your area of expertise?
I molecular biology, microbiology. That's what I do. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So if anybody need any guidance or assistance, I'm always reachable if to help any way I can. But
We'll reach out to you too.
yeah.
For the accent too, you have to teach us the accent. So, Cindy, I have a question for you. Like, it's just a general question. Oh my God, my accent is coming. I have a question for you, Cindy.
Okay.
Lois accent.
Like, how is life like as a Commonwealth Shared Scholar?
Oh, it's good.
What are some of your experiences studying in the UK? Like, yeah, and how is it preparing you for the future goals?
I think when you're back home, they keep on telling you, oh, education outside is very easy. As long as you're able to pass in Ghana, you can easily make it here. And I realized it was not that easy, as they used to say. Um, at the beginning, I found it a little bit difficult, especially when I was writing the 4,000 words essays and the rest. But one thing that is positive here is your lectures are always available for you. You can book an appointment with them anytime. Whatever you don't understand, you go to them and they are going to assist you. So when it comes to education here, it's very good. It's give and take. You are able to air your views properly. And, back home, sometimes when you answer a question, you get it wrong. They can just tell, yeah, no, you're wrong. But here, find a nice way of telling you and even taking you to the correct path. So education in UK, I would say, is the best. You get access to good lecturers, people up there, good professors who are always available to help you. And life as a Commonwealth scholar, it's quite good. You get to meet new people. The Commonwealth have mentorship programs. They pair you with people who have been in your field before. So whatever issue you have, you get to them. They are going to assist you and everything. And when it comes to the financial aspect, oh, it's very good. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to study and get your grades, and that's very, very good. So life in the UK is quite good. Education here is at the top, and the Commonwealth is always available. They have programs in place to assist you to adjust to life in the UK.
That's good to hear. And talking about the finances, how much do you receive like per month as a stipend as a Commonwealth scholar, shared scholar?
1,003, yeah,
Pardon?
around 1,003 for those out of London, and those in London get a little bit more. I don't know if it's 1,000, 4,000, 5 thereabouts. Yes.
Okay.
But it includes everything, your accommodation. They typically calculate the cost of living, and they give you that amount per month. Yes.
Okay. Get it. And the scholarship covers like insurance. Is it that with the stipend, you have to use it to pay your insurance too? Or the
No.
scholarship also covers like the insurance?
Yeah, it covers it. When you're applying for the visa, they have a portion that they write Commonwealth Scholarship, Chevening Scholarship, and Commonwealth Masters, like Marshall Scholarship. So if
Okay.
scholarship, you don't pay your health insurance. That health insurance surcharge, it covers your health in the UK. So you can go to the hospital, you can do everything. You don't have to pay from your stipend. It's already covered when you're applying for the visa.
Okay. So I also want to know, do you have to write is it English language? What's it called? IAELTS?
No, I didn't write it. So if you have less than, is it C6 in English in your WASI, it covers it. it covers your English qualification. So if you have less than not below C6 in what
Okay.
English, you don't have to apply. But I think it depends on the school because it's a school that requested for it, the English qualification. Commonwealth did not request for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The school, whatever the schools, mostly schools in UK, they waive it if you have C6 in English during Western. It's acceptable.
Helen, did you submit AELTS?
No, I didn't submit any. The Commonwealth doesn't ask you to submit or prove your English language proficiency, but some schools ask for that. My university didn't ask for that. I think it's changing because they have a list that you have to select. If you are from Ghana, you were taught in English and all of that. There is no need to submit. Most schools in UK do not really ask for it.
Okay. Emmanuel wanted to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna add exactly what Beverly added. That's why I put my hand down. But sometimes it depends on the year your WASI you completed your WASI. For some schools, I think it was you had like 9 years if you completed um after 20 sorry before 2013 you had to supply some form of English language test. But if you completed recently, you wouldn't know because they would accept your WASI. But if you are a mature student applying for the master's, they might request something like that. But what I know is that some people are able to talk their way out of it.
Yes.
You could give them an English proficiency language letter from your university to say that all your programs, your courses were delivered through English. I know for mine, I uploaded my WASI, was it? I think it was NOVDEC certificate, and they were like, they need a voucher, the scratch card to check it themselves. So I'm like, okay. So I had to go to WIAC and apply for the certificate and then also add a voucher. And it really prolonged the process for me because the application was in December and the university didn't give me my offer until February. And they gave it to me the exact day that I supplied them the certificate. Yeah, it was the university that I struggled with. Fortunately, it was the one that I actually got into. So yeah.
Beverly says that with this asset, they didn't try at all.
At all.
Please, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. It's an interactive session, so please, you are not left behind as an audience. Please feel free. So, this question is for the three of you, Sydney, Beverly, and Emmanuel. Let's say someone just completely finished the university, like bachelor's. How does a person find a problem to solve and link it to the Commonwealth goals?
I think that it has to do with your passion, your interest, your experience. So for me, for instance, where I grew up from, what I studied, what I was passionate about, it gave me an idea as to what I really want to do. And God being so good, I found, all these three things in one of the teams that was under the Commonwealth Scholarship scheme. So the strengthening resilience and response to crisis. So I'm really into sustainability and then climate change. So my interest was in that field. I had experience in that field and I was committed to contributing towards addressing climate change in Ghana. So these are some of the things you should consider. Though Commonwealth doesn't really ask for that much experience, it's not part of your eligibility criteria. You should have some kind of knowledge and then practical experience when it comes to the problem that you intend to solve. And you only know that problem from your passion and then your interest. What interests you? What are you passionate about? And it will surprise you that once you are writing your essays, your passion shows through. So if you are telling lies or something, they'll be able to detect. So I would say one, your interest, your passion, your experience, and then what contribution you are bringing on board. Yes.
Okay. Cindy?
Yeah, so just like what Beverly said, personally, I also apply right after my national service. So I didn't have a lot of experience. I didn't actually have experience in this field at all because my national service was done at an insurance company. So, like what Beverly said, from your experiences, everything that I wrote was from my undergraduate studies. Political studies, that's what I did, different from security studies. But you realize that it's interlinks. And also from my daily experiences from how we have terror in Nigeria. So that was my main focus. The terror attacks we had in Nigeria, the one we have in Burkina Faso, Togo. We are surrounded by countries who are all experiencing terrorism. So what impact does it have on Ghana? That's why my interest generated. So like your everyday day-to-day experiences, what you hear on the news, what you read, what you study during undergrad period, all those inform you on the particular course of life you want to take. So you just have to pay attention to things around you. Even though I did my service in an insurance company, I got to know some people who were affected by all those kind of security issues, coming to the office to withdraw money because they are facing one or two problems due to this security issue or that security issue. So every aspect of your life, there is an issue. You just have to find it and see if it's something you want to work on or not.
Okay, so you just have to identify the problem and see how best you can solve it. Emmanuel, I think you are into molecular biology. So from the science side, how do I go about it if I
Yeah.
just finished university and I want to apply?
Mm. This is the question about a problem, right?
Yeah, the problem, yes, please.
So, in identifying the problem, I think for our field, there are many problems that you can choose from, right? And one of the main ones would be the human resource part aspect of the problem in the first place, because there are how do you call it? Every in our field, right? And the engineers here would know that most universities cannot even afford to buy some of the equipment an engineer or a molecular biologist to be using on the daily basis. Like if you wanted to sequence some genomes, we don't have a lot of sequencing centers here in the first place. So that could be your selling point about how valuable that training would be for you to get and apply here. So in order not to make it so broad or so vague, then you can target a specific problem, a disease or something, communicable disease or non-communicable ones, and just capitalize on that. It doesn't even have to be in disease. It could be something related to biotech, maybe irrigation systems or the how do you call it? The farming practices we have it uses really traditional approaches. So that means we really need to develop resilient crops that are drought resistant or flood resistant. So training in molecular biology or genome medicine, that is what you would need to sort of make crops that grow way quicker than the wild type ones or the local ones that we have. So it comes down to, in our field, I would say it comes down to needing a skill, and the skill is not something you might be able to get here. So marketing that shouldn't be so difficult. I recognize that in some fields it'd be difficult than that, but in my field, I know that most people work that angle. That we are new with the molecular biology business, so we would need to, get the international skill and then bring it back home. Yeah.
You. It's a question from Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beverly, please go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was also going to add to what Emmanuel said. If you are also confused as to how to identify the problem, one of the best things to do is to go through the Commonwealth Scholarship page. You look at the work that other people have done. So they mostly publish the work of other scholars. You could find a similar project or something that, points you to a particular area that you've really not looked at. So for instance, when I was applying to the schools, I didn't really understand the themes and all of that. I had to go through, though I was into sustainability, I didn't understand which of them falls under what. So I had to go through each of the Commonwealth themes, look at the projects of other people before I identified that, oh, this is what they are really talking about. It's about sustainability and all of that. So I could focus on this particular area. So look at the work of other people on the Commonwealth Scholarship page, and you'll be able to definitely identify something similar or something completely new that you've not even thought of. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think going to their page will also help in finding a problem. So the question from Facebook is that someone is asking, in the application form, applicants are asked to list up to 10 publications and prizes. What if you have none? Yeah, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, so in my field, publications are currency, right? They are the currencies that you need. But I would just say this, when I applied, I didn't have any publications. I was not close to getting a publication when I applied. And maybe you'd say mine is maybe an anomaly or the outlier. But most people that got into similar programs like me didn't have any publications. And I know people who had publications who didn't get in. Remember, this scholarship is looking at a big pool of people. Maybe in some fields, right? In undergrads are expected to, write papers or publish papers before they graduate, especially if it is fields that you don't need fancy labs to collect the data. Like if it is stuff about writing about social issues, that means if you are trained in writing or critical thinking, you might be able to write something and publish it. But it is not the same for different fields where you would need like literal thousands or millions to, do a project and write about it. So no, you won't be penalized for not having publication. It might set you a pass, but you won't be penalized for that.
Okay, so you don't really need to have publications.
Yeah.
Sydney, you can
I
have
also don't have any publications. What I did, where they wrote a publication, I just wrote my undergrad thesis. Then I wrote into bracket thesis submitted. Then I had another 10 paper. I wrote the topic and into brackets 10 paper submitted. That's what I have. I didn't have any publication. That's what I wrote there.
Okay. So publications are it's part of the process, but if you don't have it, you will not be penalized, as Emmanuel said. Let me go to the comment sessions. Okay. Ella Crunchy wants to know if there is a specific academic qualification for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and also how many referees do you need? Devlin, do you want to tackle it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should have your first degree, and then I think the referees are three actually. Before it used after you are nominated from by the university, after the university nominates you, they'll ask you to send your referees. But then I was on another session and I learned that has changed. So as part of your application, you'd have to submit your references. So there's an academic reference, there is one who knows you on a professional level, and then there's a personal referee. So they ask for 3 referees. Yes, and then you submit all of that. And when you look at when you look at some of the criteria that they use in assessing candidates, the references is a very critical part of it. So you make sure that the people that you are asking for references are people that they are writing good things about you. So they ask for 3 references, and then you must have your undergraduate education.
Okay, so 3 references and undergraduate education. And question from Facebook again. Are your chances of being selected narrowed if you graduated with second class upper? Who wants to answer? Emmanuel?
Yeah, I can take this one. So I think when I was applying, right, during my time, I thought the most important thing was maybe your GPA academic, performance, which is really great. But most of the time, right, the people applying would be a lot of valedictorians and people with first class, really strong first class. And still, they find a way to separate everyone, right, and choose someone and nominate someone. So, what I've realized over the years is that um, being first class, of course, it puts you, it gives you a leg up over everyone, but you won't be. It might come down to class, right? If you have a really strong essay, and a first class person also has a really strong essay, but sometimes if you are second class upper, you graduated with second class upper, you still can write an essay that would blow it out of the park, and you
Yeah.
would get into the front of the queue ahead of anybody who came with first class or 4.0 GPA. So I know
Yeah.
people who had second class upper and got the scholarship. And I know a lot of first class graduates who did not.
So
Yeah.
of an emergency. So Lois will take over with a British accent. So yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so Emmanuel is asking that one of the areas I find challenging on the form was about the study plan and a detail of the plan. Any document or resources to help? Any advice? I'll go with Beverly.
I think it's quite the same, but the other one is asking for a detailed plan of study. So the detailed plan of study, you're going to answer why you chose to study in the UK, why you chose your school. So this is where the research comes in. So in my situation, for instance, when I was asked detailed plan of study, I did my research. I looked at where the UK stands in terms of climate change, and then I used that to explain why I want to study in the UK. And then when it got to my school, I looked at my lecturers, my program manager, and all of that, and I realized that my program leader had, I think, commenced or completed a climate-related project in Ghana. So he completed a climate-related project in Ghana, and I used that, and I was saying that if I learn under his supervision, I'm sure I'll be able to learn from his expertise. I'll gain knowledge, learn from him, so that when I come back home, I'll be able to implement some of these studies, some of these things. And then there are also so many clubs in school that I was willing to join when it comes to sustainability and then climate change. So the detailed plan, you have to really do your study, your research. You're not just writing anything. So you start from the UK, why you want to study in UK, and why your school. Are there any professors that have, ignited that passion, why you want to study with them, why you want to collaborate with them, and then all of that. And how do you think that expertise are going to help you? So you really have to do your research when it comes to that, give them a detail. And you have to also add your dissertation topic, which project work that you'd wish to, execute when you are given the opportunity. So you have to give an in-depth experience. You have to show that you've really researched about not just the university, the UK, your professors, and all of that.
Lovely, lovely. Cindy, do you want to add anything?
No. So I think Beverly.
Okay, Emmanuel?
I think Beverly covered all the bases. But again, what I really want to remind people is that think about the amount of money you're saying they should give you.
Yeah.
Don't something superficial. Think, look at the modules. Are there modules that set the university apart? Maybe they have a placement that other universities don't. So capitalizing the stuff about the university or the program you're doing that sets them apart from different universities. And as Beverly rightly said, if you found a faculty member, a lecturer, or someone on the program that you think your work will align with, drop their names or the department in the essay to show that you've really done your homework and that, look, if you don't pick me, I don't think I will get a resource anywhere else. It's a I don't know, like a plus or a privilege for them that someone actually did their homework, looked at stuff, and is saying that we are the best placed for them to get their postgraduate education.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. So they'll know that you actually really did the work. You actually went to find somebody to do the work. Today I'm going to try as much as possible not to talk much because then we are not going to close. So there's a question that's saying that how is you getting admission to the university you're applying to affect your chance of getting a scholarship? And I see Cindy here on my screen before Bev, then Emmanuel?
It will affect it because it's the university that will nominate you to the scholarship board. So if you don't get admission, basically you are not getting the scholarship.
All right. So to think, because I know that the date for closing is the 15th of December. So you're supposed to get an admission first before you get the before you apply to the scholarship.
So you apply to both the school and the scholarship concurrently. You
Right.
don't have to get the admission before you apply for the scholarship. So
Right.
later on, when the school nominates you, then the scholarship board confirms you. So you just have to apply concurrently. You get the admission letter, and the scholarship will also come later.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. I think that's Bev and Emmanuel is the same thing, right?
Yeah. So one thing to know is some universities will say apply to the Commonwealth first. And then if Commonwealth nominates you, they will allow you to apply to the university. And for some universities, it's the other way around. They would say, let us accept you first. So I think Cranfield will be, I think, is it Southampton or Cranfield? I know one of those universities, you would have to get a Commonwealth first before they allow you to go ahead with the university applications because they don't want you to, just to say waste their time if the only means you get into the university is through the Commonwealth Scholarship. So they want you to get that first and then you apply to them. So it might vary from university to university, but for the most part, it is how do you call it? Just as Sydney and Beverly described. But no, once the application is put in, sometimes the offer comes in two stages, conditional and unconditional. Conditional offer is enough to get you through the finish line because the Commonwealth, my application was in December, but I didn't get my university. The university I eventually went to, the offer only came through February the next year.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it won't exclude you if you haven't gotten the offer yet, as long as you've applied.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It varies really. Bev?
Before I forget this, someone asked about if you need to get a first class or a second class before, what's your chance and all of that. I was also saying that I think on the scholarship form, there is a part that they ask, were there any circumstances that impacted on your educational performance? So if you are really scared that maybe because you had a second class upper, you may not get the scholarship or anything. If you think any other thing impacted your studies, you could put it there. The UK is big on mitigating circumstances. They are big on offering everyone an equal opportunity. So if you think that there was any circumstance that impacted on your studies, that's maybe in a way prevented you from getting a first class or anything like that, you could write it there. Just write it. Don't be scared. Write it. And like Emma said, I've seen people with first class that didn't get and people with second class that had it. You just have to present a strong case. The first class, the awards and all of that, they are just icing on the cake.
Yeah, absolutely. Emmanuel?
Yeah, sorry, just to add that the deadline is 12th December, not on 15th. Yeah. So keep your eyes on the calendar, guys. I think it's on Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the correction. Yes, yeah, for those that have started, of course, that are looking to help us to, of course, like review, you can send your documents to dearyounggraduate@gmail.com, dearyounggraduate@gmail.com, and we can share with the mentees if they've got some time, bandwidth, and they can help review. They can. If not, this scholarship opens every year. Every year. Probably the courses might change a bit or the schools might change a bit with relation to the particular courses because they bid for it. But yeah, you can just have your documents prepared and prepare ahead. Like don't always be on people. I say that ample time given to a particular work can make you see the dot your T's, dot your I's and cross your T's. So yeah, so just it opens every year. So just prepare adequately and go in again next year, knowing that you have one particular scholarship in mind that you're gonna go for. So is there any other questions? If there are no other questions, I think that we spent an hour and 30 minutes, and that was a very good informative session. Where we had a practical ongoing session where you can see the questions and you can answer the questions practically. So I mean, it was a quick time, but you can always catch up on Facebook on our Dear Young Graduate page. You have to watch again.